Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Tonight, we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode number 12. We had a hiatus last week, but we're back. We're back. We're back. And we're still going to talk about Elijah Wan and Katina.
Because we have to finish it. We have to pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
And we're starting with the fallout, the aftermath, whichever one you want to pick. But anyway, so we see opening Jasmina and Michael, but Katina comes to visit Jasmina and Michael. And so she's like, hey, I want you to know that after we left the dinner, me and Elijah Wan, we went back and talked, and basically like he was mad at what? Girl, would you believe this joker was mad about a dating app I had on my phone that I'm not even logged into?
Now, mind you, if you watched After Party, Michael knows this. So Michael's in a room while they're having this conversation, and he just standing there like, yeah, I know this. But which by this time, I believe Jasmina knows this as well. I think he shared it with Jasmina, and so Jasmina is that friend that's playing dumb, like she don't know, but she really does know. And and they didn't even tell Michael to leave. Michael was just listening to the whole conversation, like he just soaking it in, waiting for his time to jump in.
Well, yeah, I mean he should. It wasn't like she came in and was like, I just want to talk to Jasmina. She came to talk to both of them.
But I don't know. Would they be the couple I want to talk to?
I wouldn't talk to them about couple stuff necessarily, but they both seem. Michael seems pretty level-headed.
Yeah.
Jasmina, for the most part, she got her stuff. But I mean, you ain't gonna go talk to Noy and Steve because everybody think Noy and Steve's perfect. You're not gonna go to talk to somebody, and feel like they won't understand.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk to Noy and Steve. So I mean,
and we know they're cool. So, but anyway, and so she says, he said he's been working on his tone, but in this conversation, like it was terrible. His tone was terrible. He was, short and just basically nasty when talking about it, yelling at me. I didn't really care for that. And, Michael was like, well, how did it end? And she was like, well, he walked away. He needed to cool off. He needed to go cool off. And,
which lie, because she needed to go cool off as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like when you tell her one side of the story, you never tell your part. She told her, look, I needed to cool off. I told him to take the microphones off.
But she did, but he was at level 1,000.
Oh, yeah, he was up there.
He needed to cool off. Like, she needed to cool off because he was amped and got her there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, she was like, he was just stuck on the fact that it was on my phone. Not logged in. I haven't been using it. He's just stuck. He was stuck on the fact that it was on my phone and like was wilding. And so Michael was like, we have to be like I told you. Michael is level-headed. Yeah, it's just him and Jasmina. It's a rub. They having a little issue or whatever.
He's a level-headed guy. I mean, he can think things through when you're not arguing with him. We're talking about his communication skills, but
yeah,
I give him that.
Mm-hmm, what he said about Elijah Wan or just people, period, he was like, when emotions are high, you can't really hear rationally, logically, like you're not thinking logically in that moment. And so, it's like you just be looking for stuff then when you're in that space.
Well, we all know Elijah Wan was looking for stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you going through her phone, you're looking for stuff. We all know Elijah Wan is not a logical person. We know Elijah Wan carried his heart on his sleeve. We know that Elijah Wan, you have to tell him things 3 or 4 times just to bring him down. So it's that, piece right there for Elijah Wan. So he didn't say anything wrong, but Elijah Wan, he was so amped. I don't care if she would have said, you know what, it's old. Matter of fact, I didn't even log into it. Like Michael said, he wasn't hearing none of that.
Right.
At that moment.
Right. Because Jasmina said, well, Elijah Wan told us that, whenever he gets upset, that's how, he goes to the left, like, real bad.
Oh,
he told
left.
that. And again, Katina's like, how is this the one thing you're focusing on, though? Like, why? And
is it really the one thing? he has a lot. If she thinks it's the one thing, but he has a lot of issues with her. It is not this one thing about the app. He doesn't like the fact that she doesn't clean up behind herself or clean up very well to his standard.
Right.
Doesn't like the fact that she cooks to his standard on a regular basis. So it's not just when she said this just one thing. I'm like, boo, what are you talking about? It's multiple things.
But I think what she's saying is in this moment, he was obviously it's other things attached to it, but in that moment, like he didn't go, okay, so it's this app, and then I also had a problem when I had it. So he's focused in that moment. It's not really about the app; it's the other things. But all he's talking about is the app.
Only talking about the app. Yeah, I give you that.
That's what that's what she means. But anyway, and Katina got real emotional. She started crying, and Jasmina was like, she's not the crying type. So I know when she's shedding tears that like she's really hurt, and they were just really trying to comfort her and talk to her. Then we see Michael, probably like an hour later. No, right. He had the same clothes on. Regardless.
He went right. Producer said, "Man, go upstairs talk to Elijah, man. Go talk to Elijah."
He goes to talk to Olajuwon, and it's like, how you feeling? And Olajuwon's like, like I don't want to talk to her about it right now. Like I'm still hot. I don't want to talk to her about it right now. I want her. I had to write this. This is a quote. I had to write this down, just like he said. He said, "I want her to think about what she's done, and how he feels as her husband."
Yeah, bro sipping on that juice.
Really?
Again.
I want her to think about her actions.
It's all.
What?
It's all about him. It's never been about them. It's always been about him. If you look at it, listen to his conversation and listen to the things that he says, it's always about how he feels, how he wants, how it should be, what he thought a wife should be. All this is always about him. It's never about them, and that's a problem that he has to deal with. That if he wants to stay married, it has to become you have to become French, right? Mm-hmm. We. It has to be about us. His pronouns have to change. So he hasn't learned to change his pronouns again because it's all about him, mm-hmm. and not about them.
Mm-hmm. He says he wants an apology and he don't want any excuses. And Olajuwon's like, dude, I changed a lot. I took this off.
Got my haircut.
I logged out of Instagram. I did, like, bro, again, like we said in the previous video, that's what you had to do, mm-hmm. to keep yourself. And he was like, I know how these apps work. You can log in and log out anytime you want. You can do it like that.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. And okay, again, that's you, bruh. That's not her. Stop putting your behavior and your past, your history, what you would do on her. And
basically that's what he did. I mean, he talked about that on the after party too. That's he was doing that. This is what he had to do. I think he has to realize too. It goes back to trust, really. Bottom line, I don't trust her. So she says she's working in the daytime. She can't clean. I gotta go back to the cleaning thing. So because we know they film a lot, mm-hmm. right? So when do she have time to cheat? If she's on a dating app. If we're together, I may be working in a home, if I'm talking on a dating app, yeah, I'm wrong. But dog, all he had, again, I go back to my point from the last review. Just check the app. Mm-hmm. Even if you log back in, and she log out, log back in, I believe there's history on there from when the last time that you logged in. Just check the app. Okay, you haven't logged in, or go into the iPhone, you haven't logged on this app until boom, boom, boom. Because if you log in and out, the iPhone tracks the last time you used the app.
Yep.
Common sense, and you wouldn't spend how many days they were mad at each other just by doing some common sense stuff.
Anyway, Olajuwon is like, I don't believe when she said she forgot about it. It does make me look at her different. Michael's like, okay, so like, do you not trust her anymore? He's like, it's not that I don't trust her anymore, but I'm just definitely watching and keeping my eye, Michael's like, if she gives an apology, will you hold a grudge? And he was like, again, like, no, I'm gonna keep my eye on her. I'm watching her. I'm watching you.
I got my eyes on you.
Watching you, bruh.
You got the eyes on.
Watching you, bruh. And so we'll continue with Katina and Olajuwon, and then we see them coming back together. They talk about how they took some time to cool off, and so they had a conversation about the whole blow up with the date and the app. And she understood him. He understood her.
It took him
she
a long
apologized.
time.
He apologized.
It took him a long time to say he understood her. To me, it seemed like she was doing all the conversing in that scene, and she was doing all the apologizing, and in his mind was like, by happenstance, but I guess I gotta say I understood her too. That what it seemed like to me. Y'all let me know, but it didn't seem like he really fully understood where she was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That he's like, you know what, I don't want to argue no more, so let's just go over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think bro want to be married, but at the same time, he has to bring that down just a little bit. And you could tell it was real because she was in her scarf. He had a little hoodie on. They wouldn't even cameras. It was like in the middle of the night. They had figured out like, look, I guess we need to record something to tell everybody we cool now.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. So then going forward, this is an episode where we see them, all the couples kind of talking to some friends or family, you know, regrouping or whatever. And so Olajuwon talks to his former coach, who is Coach Mack.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Mack's been married for a while, I think they said.
Yeah.
He's been married for a while, and he's known Olajuwon for some time. And I really appreciated this conversation because Coach Mack told Olajuwon like it was. And Olajuwon looked like he was actually listening, like paying attention. Like,
you have to. I mean, you know, as being a coach, and when you have young men who invest in you, or young men who trust you and listen to you and respect you, a coach has a voice on a kid. And Olajuwon understands and listens to his coach because they spent a time together. They invested in him. He also said his coach was his mentor. So again, this is not the first time they have conversations or converse, but this is a time that where they, you know, it's something they normally do. So now he's giving Olajuwon some wisdom and some understanding. And Olajuwon said, "All right, coach." Basically, he's saying, "Coach, I got you. I understand I messed up. I can't be the immature guy. I got to be a little bit more mature. I got to be more attentive. I got to be listening. I can't be a hothead." So I get that. I understand where Olajuwon was coming from. You can see it on his face that he really was in tune to what Coach Mack was saying. He was eating it up.
mm-hmm.
Now, eating it up and then applying it is two different things. And we want to see, I think he did, in this episode, he applied it.
Yeah, and hopefully he could continue to do that. Like you said, Coach Mack talked to him about, you know, not letting emotions rule you. You have to rule your emotions. Well, he said actually don't let your emotions play you.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, you know, you got to watch what comes out of your mouth because you can't unsay what's already been said.
Yeah.
You know, it's how you let your anger out and deal with it. And he encouraged him to, you know, work out the issues that they have because of the vows that you took. Even though it's married at first sight, remember that you took vows and, you know, try to work it out. And that it was just really good advice. He was telling him probably something that he's told him before, and hopefully,
I'm sure,
you know, he's talked to him about controlling himself, and so he's saying again, I told you before, watch your mouth, control yourself, watch your emotions, and like I said, it was just really good advice that he gave him, and hopefully he can continue to apply that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a good moment and a good episode for Olajuwon. So
we see Katina talk to her friend Anna.
Yeah.
And I think she said Anna didn't make it to the wedding.
No, Anna didn't make it to the wedding.
And so, you know, she was like, "Oh, let me see some pictures of your husband." And so she shows pictures. And the funny thing is, like, Anna says, well, "You got a picture of him with his shirt off?"
Yeah, I was a little leery about that one. Like, yo, why you want to see my husband's chest, yo? Why you want to see my husband with no shirt on?
She said, "You got a picture of him with his shirt off." She was like, "Mm-hmm." I was like, "Okay, Katina." And she looks at it. She's like, "Oh, the tattoos." And she was like, okay, sis. She said, "Okay, sis. Mm-hmm. I see you. I was like, wow, okay. But anyway, so she was like, "Have y'all had relations?" And she was like, "No. You know, we're affectionate. We hug and kiss and hold hands and stuff and cuddle." I'm assuming that Olajuwon's gotten better at cuddling.
I'm assuming he got better at cuddling too.
Because she didn't complain about that. Because I would have said, I was like, "Yeah, we affectionate, but girl, he cannot cuddle still." But anyway. And so she tells Anna about the dating app fiasco, and you know, she was like, Anna had asked her, you know, "Are you opening up more?" And, you know, questioning letting them in, you know, before and after this dating app thing. Like, you know, I know how you can be, you know, you're gonna need to be vulnerable and open yourself up. And
but at this point, do she want to be vulnerable? Because
she said that. She says, you know, the thing is, do I have the patience to wait for him to execute the changes that need to be made?
That's right.
She said that. Do I have the patience? But mind you, they told you from the jump, you have to have patience with him.
Yeah, and so but she was in that honeymoon phase at first. Now is a month and a half in, and she's realizing like, dude ain't changed. Dude is still going 0 to 60. Like
Patience ain't a 2 week, 3 week,
nah,
4 week thing.
patience is a virtue. I mean, it takes time.
So it might not even be an 8 week thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
it takes time, but she has much more than patience. It has to be much more than patience. There has to be some amount of love, commitment, and relationship in order to deal with the stuff that she's going through, or low self esteem, one or the other. But y'all decide which one it is.
Yeah, but yeah, she said the thing with the dating app had her question about letting them in, and like I said, Anna was like, Anna was like, I know that can make it difficult to open up, but it's gonna take on some vulnerability.
It should have had a question not about letting them in. Should have had questions about this relationship. And that's what it boils down to. That's her code word, because we're in this thing and you go off like that about a dating app. What happens if I lose my job or somebody try to holler at me or something? Anything can happen. In marriages you have ups and downs and things happen. I mean, this was just a dating app. I mean, that's crazy because it's something small.
Yeah, the last thing we see with Katina and Olajuwon is she has a Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
She does Taco Tuesday. She said this is something that her and her girlfriends usually do kind of regularly, and she hasn't had it with him, and so she was like, I want to do Taco Tuesday with you. And he's like, I never had a Taco Tuesday, my first time. And so it looked like she was cooking some things, but then some things it looked like she had bought, which is fine.
She bought all that stuff.
She looked like she was cooking something. She was prepping something.
Okay.
Anyway.
She was pulling a lot of food out of that bag.
But yeah, they did Taco Tuesday, and they got a chance to in that moment just enjoy each other, have a little bit of fun. They reminisced and shared some school stories. He talked about how the time him and his friends skipped class one at a time, and the principal caught him, and they were chasing them down the hall, and one of his friends got caught, and the rest, him and Olajuwon, the other friend, was still running. And so they said, all in all, good Taco Tuesday. They think Olajuwon's like, I'm in a good place. I'm feeling you, girl. Yeah. It's different from before. Like, we got a good friendship, and they ended on a good note. It started out bad, recuperating from the dating app incident, but however many days this was, I think it was like, when they started, they said 20. They said 20 days to decision day, and then it went to like 19 or 18. So
yeah, so it's good. It's good that they got back in each other's good graces because it takes time. If he would have just calmed down and approached it a couple of days later about the dating app, they wouldn't have had to blow up. So it was good.
So from Katina and Olajuwon, let's go to Jasmina and Michael.
Yeah, boy.
Why you say it like that?
Because I'm saying it like that because Michael's doing a lot. He's putting a lot of time in, and for her, we'll get to it. I'll talk about it when we get there. Go
ahead. So the one little funny thing, they always have like a little opening thing with a lot of the couples. So the thing for Michael, this Joker is tasting Feeney's dog biscuit. Like,
cookie.
Why?
There's the difference. The cookie. That cookie got a little sugar in it. Not that I would know. I've never eaten a dog cookie. But I would just imagine that the cookies that the dog eats are kind of made the same as human cookies. I would think so. That the same ingredients that you put in a dog cookie would be the same ingredients you put in a regular cookie.
Maybe, but I'm not tasting it. I ain't doing it. But anyway, then we see them later have a conversation, how's work going, what's been going on, and she talks about how she's been packing up because her job is moving locations. And he talks about, okay, so is it closer to where we live? Like, how far out is it? You need to work on driving to work instead of taking the train. And we discovered that Jasmina can't drive.
Yeah.
She can't drive.
Yeah, it's the difference between can't drive and don't have license.
Right. She can't drive.
She can't drive.
And she don't have no license.
But which we said...
And she doesn't have a license.
Which we said it had to be some kind of accidents.
Yeah, she said she's fearful. She's been in a few accidents, had some issues when it comes to cars, so she's scared to drive.
Some trauma.
Yeah, and he said, well, I'm gonna teach her how to drive, And this was the funny part. So he's asking her like driving questions, car related questions, like DMV type of stuff. And she's answering the questions, no problem. And she was like, it's not that part. I'm good on the knowing what to do. It's the actually doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think she had a problem with the book part. She's a pretty smart lady. I wouldn't think she have a problem with the written exam, or how, I guess they do a written exam or a computer based exam, depends on which state. I didn't think she had a problem with that. But we saw what she had a problem with when she got in the car. We saw her, we laughed because it's like
we're teaching our two teenagers
how to drive.
The girl's better than the boy, but she's been doing it longer.
Yeah, she's been doing it
But
longer.
I literally felt like I was in the car with Michael and Jasmina was my son, because he absolutely does not know how to
put pressure on the brake.
Ease the pressure on the brake. Ease the pressure on the accelerator. Not none of that. Like she first of all, I mean, even when Michael was like, you teaching, I don't know if you ever taught a kid how to drive, but you know what I'm saying? So you tell them, if you take your foot off the brake and the car's in drive, it's going to move anyway. So a lot of the driving, she hadn't even put her foot on the accelerator yet. It was just the natural motion of the car. And he was like, you can push the accelerator. And the funny part, again, I felt like I was in the car with my teenager. Like, Michael's holding on. She was like, why you holding on? And he was like, I'm just bracing
myself. No, hold on. You hold on like that when I'm driving. And I've been driving for years.
I don't. Not all the time. Just sometimes.
Watch the car in front. Like I'm hit the car.
Just sometimes. Just sometimes.
You brace yourself for anybody. So it's
yeah, he was like when he gets her to the parking lot, he was like, I'm nervous that she's not nervous. Like, she's sitting over there laughing and joking. And she was like, I'm not nervous now, but it'll change when I get behind the wheel. And she was telling the truth.
Feeny, you never seen mom in the front seat, right?
Okay, I laughed at that. Because I was like, he never see you in the front seat. So, would you be sitting in the back all the time?
She Uber everywhere.
We obviously determined that that's what she be doing. She be Ubering everywhere. Like.
Or she has the phobia that she don't want to sit in the front seat. So, when she ride with a friend, she sit in the back.
I don't know. I was like, dang. So anyway, they had a nice little driving session.
Yeah, it was cool.
She ran over a couple cones trying to stay in the middle. The part that made me cringe was like he's trying to teach her how to drive, and he's like, I'm gonna teach her how to parallel park. That's the last thing.
Last thing.
Cause parallel parking is hard. So I hope that was low on his list. I know they didn't do it that day.
I'm telling you this. And I said it, and I was kind of joking, but if he gets her license by the end of this season,
she owe him at least a few weeks or months after decision.
She owe him a few extra weeks after decision day. He helped you get your license, conquer your fear. You need to at least stay with a man a couple extra days, couple extra weeks, something.
I don't know, but she, with the driving lesson, it was like, they talked about they've been enjoying being around each other more. Yeah. And they haven't been that much more affectionate, but she said she could see them getting there. And in the end, for the driving lesson, Michael said she did better than he thought, but she's got a way to go.
And he drove home.
Absolutely. I mean, she can't drive home anyway. She doesn't have a license. So, but anyway, so we see Michael talking to his sister Claire. Claire has made several guest appearances this season. I like Claire.
He said it because she gives great advice.
Right. So, and I like Claire. And she does. She's giving him some good advice. So we see Michael talking to his sister Claire, and then we see Jasmina talking to her mom. I can't remember what her name is, but she's like on a video call with her, a video chat or whatever with her. And so, like you said, Michael says Claire is his go-to person for advice. Mm-hmm. They talk about the fact that, they've made more progress. There is some touching, but not a lot.
Yeah.
He said, mentally, it feel like we're on the same page now. It was like we weren't in the same space before, but, we're getting there. Both of us are opening up more, and so there's been a lot of progress. It's like we become friends. We enjoy spending time with each other. And Jasmina said the same thing to her mom about them, being more friends and more friendly and getting along more. She said to her mom, we've been doing good. There's less tension. The mom's like, okay, And she didn't really break it down like this, but the mom asked her, okay, what are the pros and cons of being married? And Jasmine was like, to who? to Michael. Like, who are you married to?
Come on.
That was funny.
Airspace,
she was like, do you mean just married or married to Michael? I mean, you're married to Michael, so married to Michael.
It was an airhead moment. She all right.
But anyway, she was like, we're having better communication. He's texting me throughout the day, how she likes that. They both talk about how one night they stayed up late and played Scrabble in bed. And Michael was like, that's not something we would have done normally.
Oh, yeah. Because he said he's in bed early. He's in bed like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, but they really enjoyed doing that with each other. And the one thing Jasmina said to her mom, though, is, like, it's been a month and I don't have any feelings for him.
No, she said, she said feelings or she said like?
She said, I don't have any feelings.
She said feelings. Yeah, I don't have any feelings for him.
No, she said she likes him.
Yeah.
But she said she don't have any feelings. Feelings being interpreted as spark.
As what my man boy, my man goodness. My man from last season, Ryan said, what, butterflies?
Yeah, he's like, I don't feel no butterflies.
I don't feel no butterflies. I don't know. She ain't feel she ain't never been. That dude I told y'all, and I told y'all on our Sunday review, he can do whatever he want. She ain't never gonna feel him. Because the first 4 weeks are always in her mind. She'll go along to get along, she ain't ready.
But along those lines, I like, and we said this, what Claire and Michael talked about, because Michael was like, we're affectionate, but this is the longest time I've ever gone in a relationship without any physical. And I don't know if he just means sex or just more than hand holding or whatever. And, Claire was like, you're going to have to try the little stuff. And any little chance you can get to try to touch her, anything that you can do. He was like, we just at a standstill, really, physically.
Yo, we said
and he's having to think about his every move. But Claire told him, you had to do something.
Yo, we said on the All-Star panel, which you can see every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. here on YouTube, that he has to be able to try. So even if she rejects it, try something. Because she may actually say, yeah. Go ahead and put your hand around her at night. Put your arm over, scoot her up real close to you, spoon, whatever case you may be. Rub your feet on if they're nice. Don't do no rough stuff. Make sure your feet are good when you put your feet on top of her. All that type of stuff. Throw your leg over top of her in bed. Hold her hand. When she come home one night in the afternoon, greet her with a kiss. All that type of stuff.
You have to do something.
You got to do something.
You had to do something.
Yeah.
But the one thing Jasmina said to her mom was, I'm not closed off. My heart is open, for that to happen. It just hasn't yet. And
she's waiting for him.
Her mom says, I know you have to have something there to desire someone. And Jasmine is like, if there's no romance there, I wouldn't be saying yes on decision day. So, hopefully we can get there. Well, she didn't say that, but
he needs to keep romancing. I said it again. What he did for the month anniversary, he has to do on a consistent basis, right? The driving thing is fine. The staying up late doing the movie thing is fine. She wants to be romanced. I'm gonna use Lindsey's word. She wants to be wooed, and so he has to do everything to woo her.
Well, I don't even know if she wants to be wooed as much as he gonna need to woo her.
He's gonna need to woo. If
he's gonna need to woo her.
He got to make up for lost time. You missed 4 weeks. So what you could have been doing those 4 weeks, you're gonna have to really accelerate the process. And to get if you want this marriage, it has to be accelerated even faster for her to say yes on decision day.
His thing is that he was like, I want to feel like the effort I'm giving is being reciprocated, and he's not seeing that right now. He's been opening up more, and it'll cause him to what will cause him to say yes on decision day is if will cause him not to say yes on decision day is if she's not opening up more, if she's not giving more effort. He's like, I can't say yes.
He's still breaking down walls.
Yeah, for sure.
The walls are still being broken.
Later we see them. They're cooking together. He's cooking for her. She's being the sous chef. So he's fixing some kind of pasta. It wasn't like lasagna. I think it was more like a roll up.
Yeah.
Type of thing, and because she's been cooking mostly, but he cooks. But he's like, I'm gonna put on a clinic.
I'm putting my chef hat tonight.
Yeah.
I'm putting my chef hat on. I'm gonna show you that I can do this thing in this kitchen.
Yeah, he says he's hoping this these type of things will help them build an emotional connection. She says they've been in a rhythm recently, and while they're cooking or whatever, he shares with her, at first I thought I was giving 100%, but then I realized, well, maybe I wasn't, and so I'm trying to do different. And they just had a nice little moment in the kitchen eating, and they did the, taste the food, and she tasted it. She was like, I don't want to say it like that, but it was too hot, and
I'm gonna say it though.
They did like black folks be doing, and instead of waiting
to cool down.
It was burn your mouth. So that was funny. They both did it, and she was like, "It's good, but it's salty. It's good, but it's salty." And he tasted. He just say that. But y'all know the food is hot. Like you just took it out the oven.
You just took it out the oven, but you want.
That was a cute little thing for them.
It smells so good, or it looks so good. You just have to taste it while it's hot.
Yeah.
We all burned our mouth once or twice.
Oh my gosh! And cheese is the worst culprit. The hot cheese, good gosh, tear your mouth up.
Everything cheesy over here, y'all.
Oh yeah, we like cheese.
Everything cheesy over here.
We like cheese. We do. We like a lot of cheese, stringy cheese. But anyway. Who we want to go to next?
Let's go to Noah and Steve. We'll leave Mark and Lindsey for last.
Okay. So we see their little opening thing. Noah shady as you know what.
Oh,
heck.
Yeah, she's shady.
She walks in on him in the bedroom, and amazingly, Sushi's still in the bed with him. She's not in the bed. Sushi's in the bed.
Sushi's picking up his characteristics.
Do not bend on that. Like that dog would not sleep in the bed with me. But anyway, she walks in like, oh, what time is it? Oh, you don't know what time it is because you're still asleep. You haven't gotten up yet. While I'm still working, you're still in the bed asleep. I was like, oh, she's so shady.
She's shade.
She's so
Throwing shade.
And it just kept going through the episode. It just kept going. But anyway.
Yeah, she was petty throughout the whole episode.
Yeah, we see them taking Sushi to get groomed. I thought somebody was going to be grooming them, but they went to a place where they can wash and clean and groom Sushi. And I wonder how much they paid for that.
Doggy shower. I don't know what it's called, but I don't know.
It was like a self-groom your pet place. I think I would have just took the dog and dropped him off. But it was a nice little bonding thing for them.
Just watch the dog in the shower.
Noi talks about, like, we never talk about what life would be like with kids. And so she's using this opportunity with Sushi to, like, prepare him for kids. If you could care for a dog, you can care for kids. Kids are a little bit different.
Kids talk back. Kids poop themselves. They don't go outside and poop. You have to clean kids. Kids wake up in the middle of the night crying. You have to feed kids. So,
it's similar. You may have to get up and inconvenience yourself to take your dog out to use the bathroom. Dogs do bark back. They don't talk back, but you don't know what they're saying.
It's different.
And so you can I'm not saying it's the same. I'm just, I think, it's kind of the same, but it's not. No, it's just not.
Yeah, and you have one dog.
Because it's people that can take care of dogs but can't take care of kids.
You have one dog. You want 3 kids.
And I think, didn't she say something about wanting another dog?
She said something. So 2 dogs and 5 kids? Yeah.
2 dogs and 5 kids.
2 dogs.
3 kids. That's
3 kids.
5.
Yeah, that's 5.
5 people to take care of.
5 people. Thank you.
Anyway, so
3 apples, 2 oranges.
They had a little good little time taking care of Sushi, and then later they take Sushi out for a walk, and Sushi peed on the wall.
But Steve said he always pee on the wall. Either pee on the right wall or he pee on the left wall.
Why is he peeing on a wall?
He smells his scent, and that's what he know he used to going. So he just
grass was right there.
She liked the wall. Maybe he likes the way it bounces off the wall. I don't know.
But he peed for a long time. Noah was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, so Steve's thing is, I'm kind of looking for some appreciation for all that he does. It shouldn't be an expectation that I'm doing stuff. He wants to be fair with it. And, like he's not sure that she'll contribute. And when they get in the house, she's like, can you pull this out, pull that out for cooking? You can fix this, doing the waffles while you do this. And she was just dictating to him what to do. And he's like...
Steve's talking on both sides of his neck because he said previously he doesn't mind cooking, cleaning, and doing all that other stuff. And now he has a problem with it?
Well, his problem is that it's only me doing it. Like, you ain't doing nothing. And we saw this in their conversation.
But that's by design, though.
Yeah, he was like, let's split the responsibilities of cleaning up the bathroom, not just me cleaning up. She was like, I wash my clothes if you go do this. He was like, no, how about we split this? And then, oh yeah, why don't we split sushi duties too? And, she was looking like, how about you kiss my tail? He's like, whoa. But for real though, what she's doing is, just like we said, since you ain't got no job, then you can do all that, and I'ma just work, and I'll do what I feel like doing.
And mind you, I think he said it, or I thought it. Sushi's yours.
Exactly.
Sushi's not mine. I'm really not responsible for sushi. I can be, and I will be, but for you not even to take care of your own dog, that's a problem. And I related it to what she said earlier. I want to see how he does with kids. Well, he can do well with kids, and we see how you're going to do with kids. So when the kids gravitate to him and enjoy him, you're just going to keep the kids over here. You stay over here with daddy, and I'm doing this.
Yeah, her thing was, it just drives me crazy that the conversation is always about what I'm not doing. It's never about what he's not doing. Working. She didn't say that, but she was like, it's always about what I'm not doing when it comes to housework, but not about what he's not doing. Working.
Again, he doesn't have to at this point.
We'll see it later when she has a conversation with Sriracha, which proved what I said it is. But, so anyway, so we see candid video of them. It's just one of the cameras that's in the apartment with them having a conversation about decision day. Yeah. And he's asking her, like, what do you mean? So you want to break up 2 or 3 months after decision day? Like, what's that about? And Stupid. They talk about moving in together. She was like, I don't feel comfortable moving in together right away. And he was like, surprised, like, we've been living together. When decision day comes, we will have lived together for 2 months. And so then you don't want to live together after that? Like, that's not what marriage is.
Read between the lines. I don't think you could take care of me.
Well, she says that. She says that later. It's like, I don't feel confident in combining our lives completely.
But he had to pull it out of her. She wasn't saying it at first. She was beating around the bush, going around say what you mean what you say. So she was basically needed to say, look, I don't think you ain't got no job. I don't think you can take care of me. So I want to see how you manage on your own before I come back into this thing.
Yeah, but then she also said out the other side of her neck is there's plenty of married people that don't live together. Like,
people who on their way to divorce.
Virginia and Eric talked about that too. I'm like, doesn't that defeat the purpose of being married? Like, the whole thing about, and then
defeat the purpose of the show.
When
like
you get married,
we spent 2 weeks to 2 months together. Why would I spend 2 months with you and then when the show is over, I leave? This is when our life is supposed to start because we don't have cameras. We don't have production time.
When you're really supposed to try it out.
We don't have call times. We ain't got to meet with Pastor Cat. So then this is where we should stay. Come on. She showed her age, her immaturity at this level.
Yeah,
she's not thinking this thing through. She's not. That's a child.
Yeah.
Child thoughts.
So, they meet with their family and friends. Noi meets with her brother,
her sister at the time,
Sriracha. It's still her brother, but he came as Sriracha.
Okay, we can do that. I just want to be politically correct, whichever way it is.
Yeah, because she didn't say my sister then, but she just said Sriracha. Matter of fact,
this Sriracha.
But we know that her brother has an alter ego, Sriracha. So Sriracha met her. Mm-hmm. And how's it been going? And Noi says it's been mostly good. I like our playfulness. I could be a kid around him.
Keyword kid.
He's sweet and everything. And she shares, this what I thought, again, shady. She shares that Steve said that he loves her. And Sriracha was like, already. I'm like, hello. Noi, you said it first.
No,
you're not going to tell Sriracha that you said it first?
In three whole days. After
You're not gonna tell Sriracha that you said it first, cause Sriracha like roll eyes like already. I was like, here come the shade from Sriracha too. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how they had a conversation about them not sharing housework, and Sriracha like rolls their eyes, And at first I was like, is that eye roll because I know you and you don't do housework? But it turns out that eye roll more was the nerve of him to talk about you doing housework. He don't have a job. He should be doing the housework, which is a whole conversation, they go into. Noy's like, why should we be splitting this equal when he has more free time than me? Told you. Oh. That's why she don't feel like she should do it. It's like, I work. What do you do?
But he already does that stuff.
So you should do that.
But he already does that stuff, and you can't be mad at this man because he was smart with his money and he got free time. If you look at it, he kind of planned for it worked out perfectly for him. I saved, because we learned on After Party, Steve has $40,000, right? He had saved $40,000 up, and he was chilling, going across the country, whatever case may be. The opportunity of the show comes up, so he has another 2 months where he really doesn't have to do anything. He's not going to blow 40, unless he has a gambling problem, a drug problem, or just a spending problem. He's not going to blow $40,000 in 8 weeks.
Right.
So I don't have to work these 8 weeks, and I can do what Lindsey wanted Mark to do when he lost his job, spend more time with you and get us to understand each other and love each other even more. And that's what he's been trying to do for the 8 weeks. Do you knock him? It's no different from somebody taking a 2-week vacation, or you being in the military having 30 days vacation. So again, he using his vacation time or the time on this show to try to get in tune and build his relationship up, because I got a 40,000 nest egg and I ain't gonna be poor after the show.
Yeah.
Because it's the show stipend, all right, which we researched and found out, you get paid a portion after the wedding, a portion after the photography, after they take pictures, a portion when the first half of the show is sent to the masters is done, and the last bit after the show airs. I mean, after the last portion of the show aired. So they make about $1,000 per day in filming. Now that's not taxes, so you have to get your taxes and stuff taken out. They're not coming away from the show being rich,
right? And but they ain't broke.
They ain't broke, right? They're not coming off the rich. They don't get any. They only get any points or any anything off of re-airing of the show or rebroadcast and none of that stuff. They don't get any extra residuals, so they get the flat fee. So again, Steve, like I got 40,000 plus the money that's coming into me after the show. I'm good. Mm-hmm. Let me get to know you.
Yeah, but Sriracha's like, why he complaining? How about he go get a job? Noy shares that they've had conversations about finances, and like she doesn't feel comfortable with combining their lives together, their finances together. And again, puts it into perspective. She said, I moved to Boston for a relationship that didn't work out, so I got stuck. And she basically is like, I don't want to get stuck again. So we're taking into account that her family have been refugees. They've been in a refugee camp. They've been really poor, and she's had that. She's gone in a relationship with somebody, been with somebody, and then they left her high and dry, where they went in together, and then again she got left high and dry. So she's got those two things, and she's like, I need to see you do something. She's like, do something. I don't want to get stuck. Again, she didn't say this, but her thing, I don't want to be the breadwinner. I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to expect it to be us for some time, and then us don't work out. I'm not feeling that. And Sriracha's like, you know what? I don't even recall you ever dating someone like this. And Noy was like, yeah, you're right. I haven't. And so Sriracha was like, so what you gonna do? And when you say dating somebody like this, we're trying to say somebody that doesn't have a job, doesn't want to work. But he's got money. Again, this whole conversation is about, okay, job versus work. So Steve does some work. Mm-hmm. He just don't have a 9 to 5. But she is hell bent on him having a 9 to 5.
But he does
go
work.
Do something. Pick up something. Do something.
She want to do manual labor. He's not a manual labor type of guy. He's an entrepreneur and he's a creative thinker. We saw that when he was talking to Mark on the beach. This is what I want to be creative and doing all things. And that's why I laughed at when her little opening with her seeing him sleep in the middle of the day. Mm-hmm. Most creators and entrepreneurs do things in the middle of the night. Based off this, they do things in the middle of the night. So they sleep sometime during the daytime, because they work in the middle of the night. I know there's sometimes I've edited videos at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or did different things 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You've done things 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying, with other things that you do. So again, people do have different schedules, and so for you to say, oh, he don't put in work, it's no different from a person who works nights, right? Elijah Wan works nights, so you try to say his job ain't legit because he sleep in the middle of the daytime. You see what I'm saying? So just because I'm sleep while you working, or I have some free time while you working, doesn't make me lazy. Because that's what she used in the scene too. She called them lazy. Doesn't mean I'm lazy because I don't go to work like you work as hard as you do.
I understand.
If I work easy and I make millions of dollars, and you mad at me, it's like, to me, it's a self problem.
Like I said before and on the panel, that's fine. She's going to have to see him doing some work.
Then get up in the middle of the night and watch me work.
I don't think, honestly, Glenn, I hear what you're saying. I just don't think Steve is working in the middle of the night. I don't think he's doing anything, which is fine. But she needs to, she from the show me state. Show me what you do.
But she knows.
If you don't want to get a 9 to 5, then I need to see you doing something to bring money in.
But that shows her immature thinking, right? Because I look at this. If we're still married, this cat got $40,000 in the bank. Of course, $40,000 is a lot. Not a lot. It's a lot of money for some people. Depends on where you live at. $40,000 is something more than some people make a year. All right, so let's say that he has a year where he can basically just find himself and do nothing, right? And you're still gonna be okay. She knows this on after party. She said, "I knew he had $40,000." So you know how much money he has. You don't see him bringing money in every week. So my goodness, if I'm Steve, just pay myself every week so she can see some kind of money coming into account.
But you pay yourself out at $40,000, and you ain't have no more. You gotta replenish.
But he's making more. He's just not making it. He says he's making more, and he's just not making it through a 9 to 5. So he's still.
That's why I said.
She's still working.
He's going to have to let her see him working.
Yo, she's petty. I'm gonna call it. It's petty. He got 100 and something. I mean, he got 40 grand in the bank. And again, I'm not saying he's a bum, right? And people say he's a bum. He's spending time with her and trying to build this relationship. If you ask the rest of the cast of Married at First Sight, if you could not work and you could take 8 weeks just to work on your relationship and not other things in life or other aspects of life, the success rate of Married at First Sight will be that much better. It saved Miles and Karen's relationship because they had nothing else to do but be around each other. So when you throw in work and production and all that, it makes it a little bit hard. So you talk about those who maybe who else was a teacher? It didn't work for Ryan and Brett, but Brett was a teacher, and so she was off a lot during the summertime, right? But again, if they could have connected, it gives them that much time to spend with each other. Yo, you gotta stay hydrated. Go ahead, get your hydration on. But so again, it is that dynamic and aspect in their relationship that
Yeah. So since you mentioned it real quick before we go to Steve talking to his sister-in-law, we did see Steve and Mark on the beach having a conversation, and that's the thing that Steve says. I came into this with a bunch of savings, and it's like, it's like she needs so much. She has a perception problem. He says, I've been contributing 3 to 4 times more than her. But he says she needs so much faith, and she's got a perception problem, a future problem. Like, she can't see it like it is. He says, I'm doing as much as I can short of getting a full-time job. But I feel like that as much as he can is house stuff. But then at the same time, you're doing as much as you can house-wise, taking care of the house. But then you want her to split the house chores. So I could understand the disconnect there.
He really don't want her to split the house chores. He was being petty because she was being petty. I mean, for real, he was being petty because she was being petty. So he really doesn't want her to split the house chores because he said he enjoyed doing them. But when you be petty, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be petty as well. In his mind. I'm not saying me. In his mind, I'm going to be petty as well. I'm going to split the chores with you. So, again, and when he says contribute 3 or 4 more times, I believe when they go, we found out here, they buy their own groceries. They got to do all this other stuff. So he feels like, I'm contributing with the groceries and all those other things, and I'm giving 3 or 4 more times than you. So what are your complaints?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing everything right except for punching into a clock at 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
And that's what he said. He says, hard for me to sit with the fact that, she feels he needs a job, and she's like, his thing just like we say Noy needs a plan, Steve was like, I want to know what's the plan. What is the plan and purpose for me getting a job? Is it because you want to have a certain level? You want to live at a certain level? Or is it because, you know, you want us to split the bills? Like, what is your purpose for me getting a job? Is it just because you want me to get a job? Or is it because there are things that you want to do that you feel like we'll need some more money to do? What is your purpose and plan?
Yeah.
So we see Steve talk to his sister-in-law, Laura. She already knows about Noodlegate. She was like, you know, remember I talked to you about that? She was like, yeah. And so he talks to her about their month anniversary and how nice that was. And then the conversation that they had about her going back to her own apartment after decision day, like not feeling that. Laura was like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. And then he talks to her about the fact that we had a conversation about her posting stuff on social media. You might want to avoid that. People can make assumptions that you're talking about me. Our friends and family are on social media. They'll see it. And he's like, after we had that conversation, she goes to put something else.
Something else. She can't stop.
And it looks like it's about me. I asked her, is it about me? You know, and she was like, you know, no, it's not about you. And he was like, but it seems like it's about me. But Laura says, you know, if she says it's not about you,
take it for face
take
value.
it at face value. She said it's not. Believe her when she says that, and just go from there. But he says, you know, it seems like with the going to your own place, or what I'm hearing from how she's been acting, that basically Laura almost kind of said, like, I don't know if she's ready to be married. If she wants her own space, likes and wants her own space, then you're not in a place where you want anybody in your attached to you. So that's something to consider.
But all in all, Stephen Noy is okay, except for the job.
Yeah.
If you can go to the job, go ahead and go to McDonald's, get a 9 to 5, and call it a day.
Yeah. So last but not least, we got Mark and Lindsey. So we'll start with Mark and Steve on the beach talking. And so Mark was like, you know, me and Lindsey have had a good week. It's been going pretty well. You know, she wants to talk about the future and planning for kids and stuff like that. And Mark was like, I'm just not in a place. I don't want to talk about that right now.
We ain't even there yet.
It's too much for me.
Yeah.
It's too much for me. And you know, I'm out of a job currently, trying to figure that out. Oh, that's what Steve was like. Oh yeah, so you know, something about, you know, you're on a break from work. You know.
Yeah.
And
like, nah, I ain't working.
no, I think he asked him, "Are you doing something with work?" And Mark was like, "Actually." That's what it was. Steve was like, so you're working from home now, whatever.
Yeah.
And Mark's like, actually, I'm not working at all.
Yeah.
They told me to come back after filming, so I need a job.
So we kind of found out he doesn't work in Boston. He kind of works outside of Boston.
Right.
And so he's trying to find a job in Boston.
Right.
So he doesn't have to travel.
Right. And so, you know, they had a nice little conversation about that again. You know, when it comes to the job thing, Steve talked about his job thing or whatever. But we see Mark and Lindsey. Mark had this bright idea to get a whiteboard where they can put down stuff to plan their week, things that we want to do, maybe some budget type of stuff when it comes to grocery shopping, meal prepping or whatever, you know, so they can work together as a couple. And so when Lindsey comes home and she sees it, she likes the idea. He says, you know, he needs to be in a place where he sees potential. And this whiteboard would kind of help them, you know, like get along or whatever, figure it out.
And they were communicating well. They was balancing things. They were compromising what to put on a whiteboard, which I thought was pretty interesting for them too.
Meal prepping. Do we want to watch a show together? What if we have a movie night? Well, maybe we should pick a show that we can watch together.
And this is how I usually do meal prep. This is what I usually eat. That type of thing.
But again, we find out from the whiteboard thing, and then also when they go to the grocery store afterwards, that poor Mark. She says, you know, I laugh at these women that are married to men that all they want to eat is chicken fingers and fries. And she said, lo and behold, I'm married to Chicken Finger Man. Everything she said. She talked to him about berries when they went shopping.
No.
She talked to him about some vegetables.
No.
She talked to him about melons.
No.
She talked to him. He was like, nope, don't eat that. No. Then she said something about bacon. He was like, oh, yeah, bacon.
Okay.
I'm like, good God, dude, are you serious? Like, he don't eat nothing. He don't eat nothing.
Bacon and goldfish. Let me stop.
I'm like, I feel like her too. I feel like at a certain age, like you too grown not to eat
real food. you too grown
stuff
not to eat
that
real
comes
food.
out of the ground.
Yeah, you too
or
grown.
Off a tree.
At a certain age, you got to be grown. You got to eat real food. It can't be something that you just stick in the microwave all the time.
Not processed stuff.
Yeah, all this processed stuff. Eat some vegetables. Now she was kind of, I ain't say hood with it, biting the corn, biting the vegetable. Now I've seen people eat a grape, right?
She bit the corn on the cob.
She bit the corn on the cob. Now I've grown corn, and I know what people put on corn to make it grow, and I know what processed corn goes through.
Eating that right.
Yeah, you shouldn't eat that right out the store.
I'm not eating that. The other
not
thing,
right out the store. Go wash it off and do what you need to do.
Yeah. The other thing with them grocery shopping, he was like, since he's not working, they had a strict budget of $150, and he was like, we go in here and she's picking up this, she's picking up that, she's picking up this, she's picking up that. And if you go grocery shopping, if you know anything about groceries, your fruits and vegetables,
the most expensive.
And she had a lot of it, and I think she said they went over the budget like 40%.
40%. Now that's a problem. This is where Lindsey's have an issue at. And Mark's, I'm not working. He's trying to be conservative. He's trying to be able to stay within a budget. Well, this is what we need to spend. This would have made me mad. This would have made me hot. We have a budget. We agreed on a budget. We agreed this is what we're going to spend. This is what we can spend. Let's not go over the budget. You have to put some of the fruits and vegetables back. We have to be creative with how and we're going to be creative with what meals we're going to eat for those days, right? What do we need? What can we buy at a cheaper price, and so we can get the meals done? It would have been 40%. We would be spot on, or darn near close to spot on in the budget. I know you shaking your head like this.
No, I'm not. It's not.
But
I mean, I know how it irritates you when you don't stick to a budget. But more so than anything, it's like, I don't know if, I know that's the budget that he wanted to stick to, but considering what they were buying, maybe, I don't know how they settled on that number. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how they settled on that number.
Because, again, she eats a balanced diet, he doesn't. So if you buy a lot of processed stuff, then French fries and, you
get a lot for
no vegetables, heck yeah. But
when you start spending on good for fruits and vegetables and nice things, and it also depends on where you shop at, coupons and all this other stuff too.
But when you buy, because you know we have this problem too. When you buy stuff that people eat, you don't buy a little bit of it either. That's the thing. So you're not gonna buy 2 bananas, because that'll be gone in 2 days. You buy a bunch of bananas. You buy a bag or 2 of grapes. You buy, several pieces of fruit. So, sir.
You trying to say something?
No, I'm saying for him, like, come on, Mark.
Yeah.
Come on. But anyway.
We're fruit and vegetables people. I'm sorry. I'm a fruit guy and a vegetable guy, and I eat fruits and vegetables.
And my kids, too. Yeah. I can't keep it.
We love the fruits and vegetables in the house, so, yeah. So.
I love it, but at the same time, I don't like it because it causes you to go to the store more frequently to get fruit. Because you can't buy a refrigerator full of fruit at one time, because that'll be the time it go bad before you eat it all.
Yeah, so
that's the other thing.
My thing just she was inconsiderate about the budget. If they agreed upon that, we don't know if they agreed upon it or not. If that was Mark's thing, I'm gonna say they agreed upon it, and then she went over because she mentioned, "Oh, I went 40% over the budget," so that means she knew that she went 40% over the budget, and which is not right. So that means that 40% had to come from somewhere else, and that's really inconsiderate when your spouse doesn't have a job.
Then we see Lindsey talking about the fact that she and Mark are on the outs right now, and they show a video from like an apartment camera about how he washed her clothes. She washed them wrong. He washed them wrong, messed up $250 worth of clothing, and he was it's not like I did it on purpose.
What did he do,
bruh,
to mess up clothes?
Then she was like,
it's not that hard to wash, y'all.
Yeah. Then it's not that hard to wash, but you have to know certain clothes can't be washed a certain way. If you
can read, you can wash.
But apparently he didn't read it. That's what I'm thinking happened.
Like, come on. No one goes in a dryer.
Or maybe he put something in the washing machine that was actually supposed to be hand washed. He was trying to do something good, but he messed up. She was hot.
Yeah, I'm starting to think he slept rock. You ever watch Flintstones? The guy slept rock where Wozy with me and everything started going wrong. Marcus slept rock.
I don't even know about that.
Everything's doing wrong.
He's just less mature than we think he is. You don't know how to wash clothes. But anyway, she was like, we did the whiteboard thing, and it was supposed to be like this, and he's been inconsistent. I thought he was gonna do what he said. With checking in, is he hasn't shown any actions that let me know that he cares for me. And she's like, I feel like in the video, you give more love to the cat than you do me. You touch the cat more than me. And he was like, this chick's talking about I love the cat more than her. But maybe you do.
Maybe you do. You ain't touching the right cat, but you're touching a cat.
You just had to say. You meant you was gonna say that.
I knew, look.
You meant you were gonna say that.
She wants him to touch her, and he's touching the other cat. I didn't say the other word.
You wouldn't, but you said you were going to say Mark's touching the wrong cat.
He is. I mean, look at Lindsey. That's been her
Pray
big.
For him.
That's been Lindsey's biggest thing that he's shown, because she even said it. Even her little video. Look at him. Look at the cat. She thinks she's the queen of the house. She's jealous of the cat.
It's a mess. But anyway, so then we see Mark meet up with his friend Erica. He was like, she's known me through several of my relationships. Yeah. She's always been honest and truthful with me, so I could talk to her. And, she shares with him that me and Lindsey have had some good times. It's been really organic and natural when we have the good times. But, when we had these tough conversations, it turns into some time before we can get back in that good space. And, I feel like now we're falling back into where we were initially. We had a nice little spurt of good times, and now we're falling back into those same bad habits.
Well, that's him, because being inconsistent. If you're gonna say something in a marriage, right, or you're gonna say something in a relationship, if you're gonna spend the time to make an agreement, make a document, make a whiteboard, write it down on a piece of paper, and you're gonna say you do X, Y, Z. Make sure you do X, Y, Z, because if you don't do X, Y, Z, it's gonna make your spouse feel some type of way. Because you're not committed. And she looked at every part of his life, like he's inconsistent in this, he's inconsistent in his job, he's inconsistent in following the whiteboard, he's inconsistent in our relationship. How do I get the respect from him, and how do I expect him to follow through on anything if all these other things been inconsistent? She losing trust and faith in him.
Yeah, he says he has trouble telling her how he feels. And, when she doesn't listen and he raises his voice, and then she gets upset because he's raising his voice, is not listening. And Erica's like, look, y'all just got some bad communication. Y'all got to work that communication thing out. And he's like, and then when we talk about this, I'm not ready to talk about future plans. She wants to talk about future plans. I don't want to go there. And Erica's like, but she's not wrong in wanting to talk about that, because you only have 3 weeks left. So I want to know before I get to these 3 weeks, like, what you gonna do, bruh? She's not wrong in asking about that. And she was like, look, I encourage you to talk, to speak up, and don't shut down, because you have a tendency to shut down. So don't do that.
Yeah.
And we didn't see Lindsey talk to anybody. Lindsey didn't talk to anybody, but her plan is, okay, so we had this little issue, but I want to I noticed that if we're keeping things fun, we don't have any issues. So I want to keep things fun. And so she got the photographer that was from their wedding to come, and she's got the cats dressed up like sharks. And we're going to have a little fun photo shoot and take some pictures. It's because after the month anniversary, it's just been one thing after the other. Yeah. And so she's got the suits on for the cats or whatever.
Mind you, she didn't want to do this. She kind of, when in the process, she really wasn't happy.
Well, yeah, because some other things happened. Yeah. It's been a roller coaster ride. She fixed some food. She tried to encourage him to try it. Yeah. He don't want to try the food, and he has a conversation with her about, when we communicate, you cut me off and you don't let me talk, and it's been a roller coaster ride, and can we even get to the point where we can share anything and put just she's like, everything in the whole conversation was like, everything you're saying it's you pointing at me. When are you going to acknowledge what you had to do in it? What you got to say about you? You don't ever take responsibility, blah, 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 blah. And basically, she was like, I'm done. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And so she left. The photographer's on the way.
Yeah, she balled out.
And Lindsey left. Because she's mad that he's just expressing that when I try to talk, you don't let me talk, you cut me off. And I don't know what is he supposed to take responsibility for?
But he also said, don't touch me like that.
That's it too, yeah. Cause she reached for him to try to comfort him. He was like, "Stop! Don't pull on me! Don't grab on me!" She didn't like that.
Because he was like, again, it goes to the point where last week, week before, he was like the little kid, and let me get that for you.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to be treated like a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to be treated like a little kid. A 2-year-old. A second grader. Sorry, a second grader and 2-year-old or 6-year-old. He doesn't want to be treated like a little kid. A 2-year-old. He want to be treated like a grown man and adult, not like a kid. You good?
Yo, I'm tickled.
I know you are. But we can keep it moving.
Anyway, so the photographer shows up while Lindsey's gone, and Mark was like, Lindsey's not here. She'll be back in a little bit, blah, 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 blah.
Covering for a line.
And Mark was like, I could just take pictures alone. We'll start with that or whatever. So they kind of get in that position, and when Lindsey walks in, is like, really? You taking pictures?
Without me.
This is my idea. And so anyway, she goes in.
Yes, hold on. I'm going to stop there. You left.
And did.
One monkey don't stop a show. It's paid for. We're going to take these pictures come hell or high water. First of all.
But they were supposed to be family pictures.
But hold up, man.
Cats.
The photographer's on his way.
Her.
The photographer's on the way, right? So, on her way. And so, the photographer's on the way. We paid for it. I'm not going to stop them in the middle of the street. Stop her in the middle of her travels. That's a booking gig. I probably have to end up paying for it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Because
they're halfway here. We can keep the party going.
But she goes in and she goes to pack a bag for the night. She's like, I'm hurt. I just want to take a moment. I'm going to go back to my apartment. That's where I'm going to stay. And, she says, you're doing things to show me that you're not investing. You're not pouring into us, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, I don't want to do the photo shoot. And he was like, but look, she said, I don't want to do the photo shoot and play like I like you. He was like, come on, let's take the pictures. No, I don't feel like doing that. And he was like, you arranged it. Come on, let's take the pictures. And she was like, do you want me to take the pictures? And he was like, yes, I do.
I've been asking you to come take the pictures. Yeah, I want
Let's go take the pictures. And, she was like, well, I'll stay there, out reluctantly. And what should I wear? And she asked the photographer, and the photographer's like, you want me to come help you? I feel like she probably vented a little bit while she was in there, too. But then they come out and take pictures. Really nice pictures with the cats and everything. And then the photographer's like, how about the two of y'all? And Lindsey's like, I'll leave that to him if he wants to do it. And he was like, yeah. And so, she muddled through it, but
she was mad and she was in her feelings, and she doesn't like realness and real talk when he talks real and when he talks honest to her. She always thinks he's complaining, but he's sharing his emotion. He's being vulnerable with her. And so, again, he's telling you that he needs this out of the relationship and you getting mad. Or he tells you, I don't want you to do this, and you getting mad. It can't be one-sided. It has to be both ways.
Yeah.
If you're going to give it, then be able to take it. If you're going to take it, be able to give it. So that's their issue. Their communication and how to treat one another is bad. Yeah,
and more than anything, Lindsey has difficulty listening. And he talks and she waits to respond. She's not really hearing him.
No.
Like, what is he really saying? And then, again, she's making it about her.
Mm-hmm.
When he's telling you, I'm having an issue.
Having an issue. And instead of being comforting in the time that he's going through, he has a rough patch of his life, right? Mm-hmm. He's in a rough patch. He's on a show, but he has a rough patch. Job, relationship, home. Be more empathetic to him. Not being coddling, but be empathetic. Mm-hmm. Allow him to listen and hear him, but allow him to work things out on his own and knowing that it's going to be okay. Yeah. And that's what she needs to do. But
so
it's good to have Married at First Sight back this week. They are kind of dragging the season on a little bit. Mm-hmm. But hey, we're getting closer to decision day. Closer to decision day.
And some of them I still can't call. I can't call.
There's some of them I can call.
I can't
read between the fluff. There's some that I can call. Some more obvious than others, right? And there's some that you can be on the fence, but I can call them.
We'll see.
We'll
Y'all
see.
stay tuned.
Y'all stay tuned. Hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Also, make sure you join our membership for different perks that you can get by being a member of the Jac and Glen channel. Once again, we appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. And make sure you share this with somebody else.
Turn on that bell notification.
Yep. See you in the next video.
Bye.